Hi, Campbell. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Thanks, pal. Are you?
Good, good. Going into this third fight, what are some of your expectations, and do they change from fight to fight? What are some of the things that you're focusing on the most here?
Yeah, we're lucky again where we've known about the opponent for quite a long time, and we've been able to get like a bit of a game plan together. He's got a decent record, so he's going to come and have a go. He's not going to be someone who's just coming to make the numbers up, and it's quite like long and awkward, quite a funny sort of style. So we've been able to work on a few things, which is good for this stage of my career. And but we're just building all the time. Really, it's not like we're not only working on specific things. We're not like just thinking about this fight. We're always building and improving in every area, making sure I'm always a bit stronger or a bit fitter, a bit sharper each fight.
I know that it hasn't been a huge jump in time since your first pro fight to your third pro fight. But what are some of the physical changes and things that you see different in you today than before your first fight?
There's not loads of things like physically. I've always sort of trained like a professional since I was about probably 15, 16 years old. We've stepped things up, and like we do like a lot more strength work now than we used to. So probably those sort of things. I'm getting a lot stronger, and I think as I'm getting older, like you get that man strength where, say a couple of years ago, people who had say I sparred a professional a couple of years ago, I'd notice how strong they were, whereas now, like the physical side of things, I've like caught them up or like overtaken them. So probably that sort of like the physical, like the strength side of stuff.
Last question for me. Going into the professionals, what are maybe one or two things that are the biggest things that you've learned so far, or what are one or two of the biggest surprises that you've gotten as a professional so far?
I'd say, the toughness of your opponents, where even the lower the lower end of the sport, like you got the journeyman fighters who you're learning against at the start of your career, but you just how tough they are. They're like the grown men, aren't they? Like, it's not like in the amateurs where you're both the same age and you're both young, where you can break people down a lot easier. Whereas not like these, they've got a lot of pride, and it's a grown man, so they are a lot tougher, and that surprised me.
Thank you, Campbell, and good luck this Saturday.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Jeremy. If we go to Jonathan Nagy off next, please.
Hi, Cam. How you doing? All right?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Good stuff. It's your third fight of your pro career and third fight in 2021. You must feel, I guess, pretty grateful to have been this active during a pandemic.
Yeah, it's exactly what I needed, really. It's obviously I've not got that massive amateur background, so this is this is exactly what I need to be doing. I think the people around me in the gym, like what they see is, I think I've got every attribute that you need, but I've not got that experience, and there's only one way to get that. So I think everything's going perfectly.
Last time out fighting at, a lot of people said it was a much more sort of composed performance against Levi Dunn. What was it like as well fighting at the Manchester Arena? I know there was no fans, but still a venue steeped in your family's history.
Yeah, it's always been a venue that I've been dead excited to box in ever since I walked in an amateur gym for the first time. When you look at some of the names that have boxed there over the years, it's a bit of a hotbed for boxing. So I was buzzing. It's a shame there weren't anyone in there. It was quite weird, but I think that I was a lot more composed because I know I weren't going to be under any more pressure than I was in Gibraltar, and I think what I got it into my mind that it's not going to be any harder than that. So just take my time and enjoy it, and I saw big improvements. So just the same again. I'm not as nervous this time as I was my second fight. It's becoming more of the norm now. So I think we'll see same improvements again.
Just lastly, Conor Ben was on the call earlier, and he spoke about sort of, speaking with you and advice that, he's given. Can you elaborate on that and, what it means to you to fight on his undercard?
Yeah, he's always just said about, like, he's warned me how tough a game it is and how hard it's going to get. Like he said, how much harder it'll get down the line, things like that. He's told me a big thing was about the criticism you get from, you've got all these armchair pundits who think they know everything and want to criticize and things like that. So he's just told me, ignore them. Just make sure you're concentrating on doing the best you can and working hard, and that's all that matters really, and you'll get there.
Cheers, Campbell. Appreciate it.
No problem. Nice one.
Thanks, Jonathan. If we go to Danny Flexen from Seconds Out, please.
Hey, Campbell. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. You?
Yeah, good. Thank you. I spoke to your uncle and trainer, Matthew, yesterday, and he was talking about how much he's drilled into you the need to not just have the ability to succeed in boxing, but the discipline and the lifestyle. I think harking back to your dad and kind of blowing up in weight between fights and that kind of thing. Matthew was saying he's learned from that experience that with you, he really wants to push the discipline side because you've got such good talent. Is that something you see from him kind of daily in the gym?
Yeah, it is. It's a massive thing with him. He's always said, like, my dad was a one-off where, like, there was no one more disciplined than my dad in a camp. But between fights, there's no secret to what his lifestyle was like, and it does catch up with you. So, like what Matt always says is, you get some really talented fighters who think they don't need to work as hard, or live the life as much. You get less talented fighters who make up for it with hard work. But if you have both, where you work hard and you're talented, you've hit the jackpot. So that's what I want to try and do with myself, really. I think I'm lacking in the experience that my dad had. I think I've got a lot of the same attributes, but he was like a top amateur. So I think I need to make up with it through, like, the discipline between fights and doing my best.
And something I asked him, and I want to ask your take on it as well. You're on the same bill on Saturday as Conor Ben. He's a great template for someone who had very limited amateur experience, a lot of pressure because of the last name and a famous father. And he's improved and been matched really well along the way. Is that a kind of template that you look to, something you could emulate?
100%. He's like, he was in a similar position to me, loads of pressure. And I think you could see in his early fights that you could see the lack of experience, but you could see, like, the raw talent that he had. So he had his critics, but it's no like, you know why he's improved, because he's like I say, he's been matched really well, and like his team and matchroom like did it perfectly for him. But he stayed in the gym and he's been dedicated, and I think that's the same thing for me. I'll stay active, stay busy, and I've got, like, the best people behind me to match me right. But I've got to work hard and put the same graft in.
Brilliant. Very best of luck for Saturday night. Look forward to seeing you in action.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Danny. Go to Ames from Boxing News TV, please.
Thanks for Boxing News TV. Pleasure to speak to you, Campbell. How's life treating you?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. Ready to go now.
Good to hear. Alongside, coming up the ranks, being a prospect like yourself, you get involved with a lot of sparring, doing the circuits with the sparring. How's that been this time round, and how has sparring been with the likes of people the caliber of, like, Kez Ashfaq?
Yeah, it's been. I've had great sparring for this one. Matt's done a top job with getting the right sparring partners in, because, like I said before, we've known about this opponent for a while, and it's been good so we can tailor the training to him. And we've been getting, like, your southpaw. He's not a south. He's a bit of a switcher, so make sure I'm sparring like you got your tall fighters, and I've had switch hitters, southpaws in. So it's been really good, and learning all the time. Not just, I think it'll stand me in good stead, even though it is tailored for this opponent for the future, because I'm going to fight these sort of styles down the line as well.
And Campbell, lastly from me, with everything, the way you've been promoted, with the legacy that you have from your father as well, you're getting pushed, you're getting the spotlight, and you're, disciplined as well, like Danny Flexen was mentioning earlier. I'm just wondering, the only thing that's missing so far in the early stages of your career is the knockout win. I'm just wondering if that's a goal in your mind to get, and something that you want to taste pretty soon.
It is and it isn't. I do think it is due to come, and I think we're not worried about getting it too much. I think that with the 4-rounders, it is hard to. It's like, well, it's not hard. It's easy for the opponent to survive 4 rounds in a lot of ways. So we're not too worried about it. I do think like in the gym, we've been making sure I'm getting everything behind my shots, because I think in my first couple, with the nerves and everything, I was like, I weren't getting everything into him. I'm like snatching it, like rushing it a bit. So it is something we've worked on, where we don't need to like rush the shots. We like have a look, pick them, and get everything behind them. So we are working towards doing it, but it isn't a massive concern for us.
I'm sure it'll come, Campbell. I wish you all the best at the weekend.
Yeah, mate.